Is the man you love a diamond in the rough, a work in progress, or a piece of work? Does he shut down, get angry easily, disappear for hours at a time? Do you feel like you need to fix him? We don't always notice at first, but if we do see red flags, we tend to ignore them with a love conquers all attitude, which never works in case you weren't aware. Hello, I'm Dr. Debbie, and I've been helping men, women, and couples grow together for more than 25 years. Now it's your turn to learn what I learned and taught as a couples counselor and university professor. You are the wise woman, and this is your personal development podcast packed with instant encouragement and practical tips. And men can learn about women too, because this is a safe place where women are valued and men are respected. We talk about biology, socialization, behavior, emotions, communication, and connection, because men and women are different. Always have been, always will be, and that's a very good thing. As a clinical psychologist, I worked with men in counseling for more than 25 years, sometimes individually, but often with their wives. Now, as a professional coach, I still talk to guys a lot, and they tell me stuff. And even though all of this is based in research, you could still disagree, of course, because, as always, what you do with information is entirely up to you. But if you want to hear what I've learned, keep watching. The truth is, most men are simultaneously healthy and broken to one degree or another, simply because of the way they were created and have been treated throughout their lives. It's called normative developmental trauma, but I'll save that topic for another video. The truth, with a capital T, is that the Creator has a deep desire to heal every man's brokenness, as well as every woman's pain. When you love a man, no matter how broken or emotionally healthy he is, you're going to need an ongoing dose of divine wisdom. Here are 3 things to keep in mind as you keep moving forward. Number 1, men usually respond well to women who are healthy, so that's always a great place for you to begin. Number 2, if he doesn't respond well, he may be in a deadly trap that requires way more than you can give. He needs divine intervention. Number 3, because every woman is also simultaneously healthy and broken, she cannot save him alone. In fact, she may need divine intervention too, which takes us back to number 1. So what does divine intervention look like? You know, our Creator works in many mysterious ways, sometimes very directly, and sometimes through others. What he does in your situation is going to depend on how he sees what you need, as well as what your broken man needs. My personal favorite way of hearing God's voice is when he speaks straight into my heart, and I pray you both hear his voice in that way. However, our Creator also intervenes through education, support groups, and counseling, to name a few, and good books on the subject. You know, here are several ways men express their brokenness. Let's see: adultery, abandonment, addiction, abuse. Interestingly, they all begin with the letter A. So first, let's talk about adultery. Sometimes a man goes outside his marriage for things his Creator intends for him to enjoy within his marriage. Most guys I've known who are broken in this way didn't set out to have an affair. But with each encounter, he sinks deeper into the emotional abyss he's trying to avoid. That's how evil works. So if your spouse is having an affair, check out Love Must Be Tough: New Hope for Marriages in Crisis by Dr. James Dobson. Now, I'm not a big fan of Dr. Dobson, but I've never found a book better than his on this topic. And unlike most approaches to marriage crises, this strategy does not require the willing cooperation of both spouses. However, if your spouse is willing to work with you to recover from an affair, be sure to check out Torn Asunder. Dave Carter sorts through the factors that contribute to infidelity and then maps out a step-by-step recovery process for both partners. Next, let's talk about abandonment. Plagued by fear and shame and doubt, a man's autonomic nervous system initiates the fight, flight, or freeze response. Usually that means a wall of protection for himself. As a result, you can feel left out, left behind, or all alone. Chasing after him only makes matters worse by triggering more fear, shame, and doubt in his mind. An evil trap that's designed to separate you both from love. In her book, It's Not Supposed to Be This Way, Lisa TerKeurst shares her personal journey toward unexpected strength. Through her own heartbreaking experience, Lisa discovers how disappointments can become divine appointments to radically encounter God. Well worth the read. So, what about addictions? No man starts doing something harmful because he wants more pain. At first, the behavior is a way of coping with the pain he already has. Alcohol, drugs, sex, porn, work, or food provide a way of escaping that soon takes over his soul and ruins his life. As with adultery, each step sends him deeper into the emotional abyss that he's really trying to avoid. Yes, that really is how evil works. Healing the Scars of Addiction by Dr. Gregory Jantz starts out by helping you recognize if there is a problem. Because it's not just about drinking and drugs and gambling. Newer addictions have come into play, including food, prescription medication, shopping, pornography, and even technology. Finally, let's talk about abuse. Physical, psychological, emotional, sexual, and spiritual abuse are attempts to feel in control by controlling someone else. We most often think of men as the perpetrators of domestic violence and abuse. However, a broken man may be, or may have been, a victim himself. Sometimes he's both. Either way, safety is the primary concern for everybody. Without safety, fear runs rampant, which is always the end goal of evil. The one book I've recommended more than any other than my own, of course, is a book called Stop Walking on Eggshells, Taking Your Life Back When Someone You Care About Has Borderline Personality Disorder. If either of you have ever been the victim of manipulation, deception, or intense, violent, and irrational rages, you likely have symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder. Both of these disorders are painful, both for victim and the perpetrator. And as painful as that is, childhood sexual abuse is equally, if not more, devastating. If your mate is a survivor of sexual assault, check out When a Man You Love Was Abused, A Woman's Guide to Helping Him Overcome Childhood Sexual Molestation, written by Cecil Murphy. Much of what he writes applies to any type of abuse that the man you love has endured. Links to all these resources are in the description below. They're affiliate links, just so you know. That doesn't affect your costs, but it does send a few pennies our way to help produce these videos. Anyway, I hope that helps. We'll talk again soon. Thank you for listening to this episode of A Wise Woman's Guide to Men and Marriage. What did you think? Did the information raise more questions? Do you want to learn more? Head over to A Wise Woman's Guide for show notes and links to the resources mentioned in this episode at awisewomensguide.com.